All right, I'm Rockets. Friend asked me to do a stream on stocks and Soteran, so here I am. I think Soteran's actually asleep right now. He's gonna sleep right through this. I'm gonna try to make a text document real quick. New text doc, and we're gonna look at these guys. These are the ones that I'm gonna look at. This is another friend of mine's list of stocks he was interested in. Um, okay. Let's see. This behind me is FinViz. FinViz is where you can scan different. You can just look at screeners and different things like that to see what stocks you're interested in. You can, it's self-explanatory. There's a lot of drop downs. There's a lot of menus here, but we're just going to go through the list. The first one is Etsy. Right. First, we want to see every day when I look at stocks. This is what I kind of do. Let me just expand this on my left side. What do we got? Okay. Let me make sure that this is coming through at 1080. All right. I'm going to try to get Soteran's attention because he's probably the only person who cares. Hopefully, when this at least makes it to YouTube, then he'll care. The date today is in the bottom right hand of the corner. It's 5/26/2020, the day after Memorial Day during the 2020 COVID breakout. If we just check news real quick, I mean the news is going to be stupid, right? We'll open up this one, we'll open up that one, we'll grab CNN, NPR, we'll try to find BBC. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna close that out. Thousands disregard health guidance over the weekend despite rising coronavirus cases, more than a dozen states. That's like the top headline for Google. Top headline for Fox is Democrats hammering Trump, blah, 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 overlook, the Obama Spygate or whatever that is. I don't know what this shit is. What is this? Advertisement for Cisco? I don't know. Trump has spent far more time golfing. Like, I mean, some of these news agents. Oh, yeah, I guess this technically COVID-19 cases are rising in 18 states. Pandemic puts a crimp on voter registration, potentially altering electorate. European countries mull reopening borders. None of the news here is really important. What's actually going on that is important? Here, I'll show you. China news stocks. Here we go. This is it. Trade tensions are bigger risk to stocks than coronavirus. Hong Kong stocks extend slide and China concerns. Here comes the U.S. crackdown on China stocks. This is the stuff that actually matters, right? And Soteran brought my attention to this actually, because I haven't been really paying attention. I just kind of I was like, well, McDonald's is probably going down because of the virus, right? But then the Chinese market just went, nuts. Like their escalation, re-escalating tensions. Here it's end higher as consumer sector lends support. U.S. tensions gap gains. Tensions are flaring. Futures up slightly amid growing tensions. Tensions, tensions, tensions. Like, I mean, like, that's like the word, right? And so, if we look at SPY, maybe we can click this. No. All right, well, whatever. SPY. Here we go. You can see these lines, like, is there another way to do this? Maybe I can pull this up on my trade. Here we go. So we'll just look at this real quick. Oh, that's McDonald's. Frick. C to SPY. Ah, crap. C for SPY. Here we go. All right. So here you have in blue is the. I'm gonna open the original. Yeah, just give me this really big. All right, copy, close that, close this, paste, enter, and it's still not very big, but we can blow it up. All right. So we've got the 50 line here. It's above that. This is the MA 200, right? SPY is now at 301. So what this normally means is that it's just going to climb a lot, right? When this crosses the 200 the 200 mark, it just drops, it's just going. And then when this crosses the 200 mark, it's just going up. And then here it's I'm sorry, when it crosses the 50 mark, it's just going up and then it's going to cross the 200. This is supposed to just climb right back up to this right here. But that is technical trading. That's how technical trading works, right? Like you look at that, you expect to bounce here, it's going to bounce off of it. Here it could have bounced, but it came up, so it's going to keep going up. And that's the general principle of technical trading. And like a very short synapse, I would never bank on it. But if you look at the news, everything that's coming out in the news is negative. Unemployment rates, they're headed toward 20%. They were supposed to stop at 15%. They're not going to, or they didn't. I don't know what happened. Uh, there's some good news. Finance rates are really good. Like you can get a loan and refinance stuff really low because banks are borrowing money at really low interest rates from the Fed. So they're transferring those really low interest rates onto you. So a lot of people are refinancing. I personally like fixed rates. I think that unfixed rates are just asking to get spanked when the market goes bad. When the finance market goes bad, that is. But I mean, so get off my screen, you dope. He probably is a really smart guy. I shouldn't call him a dope. But I mean, generally, people draw these lines. Like this is the descending line, that's the ascending line. And it's just whatever the peak point is, whatever the lowest peak point is, and they just it's just I don't know why they do that. It's ridiculous. But it's the 20 MA, I believe is. Let's see what's going on here. Why does this have the same color as that? This is the 20 MA. All right. So generally, whatever happens during the day, you should return back to the moving average 10 or the moving average 9. So I don't know why it's just showing the 20. I normally observe that it returns to the 9 or the 10. So like whatever happens during the day is going to move that 10-day average, and then at the end of the day you'll return to that. And so normally stocks don't move more than 6% in a day because of that moving average. Well, there's a lot of reasons why they don't move more than 6%, but this is so complex. There's so much to learn and there's so much to explain that like I'm just slaughtering it, right? So let's just focus on the actual thing that I was requested to talk about. So let's go with EDC. EDC. Here we go. We're gonna look at EDC. Oh, what the hell? This is not the stock. Okay, so EDC stock. I don't know which one he's actually talking about here. Why does Google News do this to me? Google. EDC stock. Okay, comes up here. Why does FinViz not have it? EDC. Are you serious? Okay, well I guess there's no chart. Oh, it's been pulled. It's been pulled off it's been delisted, I think. Headquarters Netherlands Airbus. Has it been delisted? Did Airbus get delisted? Oh my god. Delisted Airbus. No, that's a different thing. Airbus delisted stock? Something's weird here. Airbus CEO says aviation crisis due to coronavirus still at an early stage. Airbus says it's up 8% AIR. What the hell is EDC if this is Airbus? What? I'm so confused. Airbus is still. I don't know. So, anyways, basically, it looks like a few of these are just airlines, right? Because the next one I do recognize, and it's AAL. God, this better show up. All right, American Airlines. Sweet. Yeah, so 970. So yeah, so like if you were gonna buy something and hold it for a year, I can't imagine it not being an airline company right now at that price. I mean, I wouldn't put my whole portfolio in it. I'm a big proponent of only investing 25% ever. Get the fuck off my screen. Uh, but uh, but yeah, I mean that is a ridiculous. I mean, how do I've got to extend this out. Okay, daily, weekly, monthly settings. Oh, you got to pay more. Oh, come on. All right. Well, I've got the hammer here. Let's go to monitor. Monitor active positions, live news, quick chart. Okay, let's go with AAL. Quick chart. American Airlines. Why is this not cooperating? I really, really don't like analyze. Okay, AAL. Here we go. AAL. All right. So I don't actually see what I'm looking for. Here's charts. AAL. All right. There we go. Now let's look at the timeline. 1 day, 15. Customize list. I don't know. Yeah, let's go 3 years. What? Okay. I don't know. What do we got? Come on. Are you kidding me? What the fuck? Alright, well, that's not working very easily either. I normally don't do any of this stuff on my computer. I just do it on my cell phone. I'm very relaxed about it. But let's look for AAL on Google. This is really easy. I don't know why more systems aren't like this where you can just click the time frame you want. It's really annoying. Yeah, so you can just see that like the average is nowhere near $10 for 5 years, And I mean, let's just go to max. What is this? 1985 was the last time it was $10. Oh, I guess there's a couple dips through here. Holy shit! What the fuck was this? 2012. I remember in 2008 was like the financial crisis. What the hell happened in 2011? Black Monday crash. All right. Moody's issued a report. AAA. All right, so I've got to see what SPY did at that time. Let's go with SPY. SPY, we'll go max. We'll look at 2012. Like, this is why it didn't register to me at all as an event, because this is it. This is that event. It sent AAL into in a tumble. This was a major event for me. This one, that one, not so much. This dip here in 2008 was like the worst dip I had ever seen. This one I didn't even register with me. I didn't even notice it. So whatever that is, whatever that was, Black Monday didn't. I don't know. D-rating and Moody's didn't affect me. I think it was mostly financial related, and I probably was just looking at like AMD or something. So, but anyways, if we look at AAL, I mean, I don't know how much lower it can go. $9.70 seems ridiculous. I can't imagine it not just tripling in value in the next 5 years. So if you're gonna hold it for 5 years, like I wouldn't have a problem with it if you're only gonna invest like 10%, 20% of an account. Like that seems like so where I'm getting these numbers from, this 25% principle. I'm trying to think whether it's easier to show the video or just to explain it. But basically, if you're gambling and you're going to get paid 2-to-1 odds, which is 100% gains, right? If you're going to get double your money for a bet, you always bet 25% or less. Because that is, if you've ever seen The Beautiful Mind, Nash, Kelly, any of these people that look at gambling or like percentages and rates like that, if you only bet 25%, like your curve just goes straight up in how much money you make, typically over the course of however much time you're betting this 50% trade. And mathematically, it breaks down to like the fractions where, you know, it somehow a quarter of your betting is equal to the natural value of that probability, right? So it's like I'm trying to remember how to do it. I'm muddying this up really bad, but it's like 1 in 2 chance. You know what? I'm gonna try to find out if I can show this easier. It's Kelly, 25% wager, 2 to 1. Kelly criterion. Here we go. Where is the simple thing? Here it is. PB plus 1 minus 1 over B, right? So where is the classical example of this? Um, okay, so this is getting way into depth, but you don't really need to know all that. Capital growth investment, Kelly criterion. Okay, so I'm just gonna Google coin. Maybe okay. In one study, each participant was given $25 and asked to bet on a coin that would land heads, whatever, Remarkably, 28% of the participants went bust. The average payout was just $91. Only 21% reached the maximum. 18 of them, da 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 da. Using the Kelly criterion and based on the odds in the experiment, ignoring the cap of 250 and the infinite and the finite duration of the test, the right approach would be to bet 20% of the pot in each of the coin tosses. If losing the side of the next bet gets cut, if winning, the stakes increases. Stakes increase. If the bettor had followed this rule, assuming the bets have infinite granularity and there are up to 300 coin tosses per game, and that a player would reach the cap, would stop betting after that, an average of 94% of them would have reached the cap, and the average payout would have been $237. So it didn't explain shit. It gave you an example, and it didn't explain anything. So I'm trying to work through here where it's going to show you. Maybe there's another website for this because that one just I don't know what's wrong with Wikipedia. I think the people who just write on there are just idiots. I don't Kelly Criterion Blackjack. Da, da. Maybe I can just math it out. I don't know. Let me see if I can just fudge it. Okay, so it's Kelly Criterion. This is the formula. So probability B plus 1 minus 1 over B plus or over B. So you basically end up with like what would it be like? B is the net fractional odds received on the wager. So betting 10 on win rewards $4 plus wager, then B would equal 0.4. Okay. So since it's 2 to 1, B would be 2. So it's 2 plus 1 minus 1. It's going to be 2, 2 over 2. That doesn't make sense. Something's wrong there. I'm doing the equation wrong. I don't know. Expected net winnings if you win. B is the net fractional odds received on the wager. Net fractional. Oh, I see where it is. Yeah, so this B isn't 2. That's actually what is this? Net fractional odds received on the wager. You're betting 1, you're going to receive 2. 2 divided by 1 is 2, so B should be 2. 2 plus 1 would be 3. But it's P B plus 3. P is the probability of a win. So the probability of B plus 1. Probability of 3? What the hell? I don't know if it's this nomenclature that's throwing me off or what, but like that doesn't make any sense to me. One way or another, this formula comes out to uh 25 1/4, right? So B must come out to 4 in some fashion. I don't know. Well, if I do it backwards, that's not going to help anyone because they aren't going to see how and it's just going to be like backwards derivative. Anyways, there's some Kelly principle out there that I've always adopted, and I apparently have no fucking idea how to explain it. I just this thing is just so confusing. I don't know why it's Kelly. Okay, Kelly. There's got to be a simple explanation for this. Bet 25%. Come on. Oh, here we go. The optimal bet calculator. Okay. Enter your odds of winning, say 0.5. Yeah, so that's what we have, 0.5. Enter your net odds received, say 2 for 2 to 1 odds, 2. Okay, bankroll 1,000. Adjusted Kelly, enter your key adjustment to divide, 1 for full. I don't know what that's about. But here you go, it's 0.25 adjusted. Now, hopefully, this explains. Casino is willing to. Here we go. Casino is willing to pay you 2 to 1 on any bet you make. Your odds of winning may on any flip are 50-50. Therefore, your probability is 0.5. Your odds, often referred to, I'm sorry, your odds offered are 2 to 1. So enter 2. You have 1,000 with you. It's going to be $250. Hit calculate. You see, what the fuck kind of explanation is this? What the hell? What the hell? It literally just says how to operate the thing. It doesn't say how the equation works. I hate this thing. what a useless. Oh my gosh. One of these things has to explain it. A killing strategy calculator. Killing criteria is maximum aggressive. Seeks increased capital at the maximum rate possible, possibly. Da, 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 da. Common strategy. I've never failed so hard to explain a concept I use in my daily life. It's never happened to me. I don't understand. If I just saw the regular equation instead of that weird gobbledygook that they wrote, it would be way easier. This is not complicated. It comes out to 25. So, I mean, some way or another, you're going to end up dividing 2 by 0.5 to get 4. So that's not it. I think it's 0.5 of 2 is what I think it ends up being. So if we went back to that other equation, and we ended up 0.5 plus 1 minus 1 would be 0.5. 0.5 over. We'd end up with a quarter, though. So that's the opposite of what we wanted. I don't know. I'm trying to think how it works, but man, I used to sit down and just calculate this at the poker table all the time. Oh, frick. Okay, how to calculate the Kelly criterion. All right. Matchbook Insight. Come on. You've got to be the .com that helps us. Okay, this looks more familiar. BP minus Q over B, where B is the decimal odds minus 1 and P is the probability of winning. Okay, so that means if B equals 2 minus 1, which is 1, P equals 0.6, Q 1 minus 0.6, 0.4. Let's break it down. Practical terms, throw the dice, land. That's for dice. Oh, fuck. Well, anyways, I mean, it matches out the same. So what do we got? The calculation is known as 1 times 0.6 minus 0.4 divided by 1 would be 0.2. Therefore, the formula suggests your stakes would be 20% of your bankroll. So for our situation, the decimal odds are going to be 0.5. 0.5 minus 1 is going to be negative 0.5. So where the hell, decimal odds? Chance of a thrown dice landing on 1, 2, or 3 is 50%. So they're using P as 60, but our P is 5. So they have B times 5. So our B is 2 minus 1 in this case. Where do they get the 2 from? Decimal odds minus 1. So it's 2 minus 1. But the dice are loaded. This really frustrates me. I don't know why they're. All right, I'm gonna try another site. That didn't explain to me. Here we go. This is a better formula for me. All right, so K percentage, the Kelly percentage. It's your winning probability, which is going to be 50%, minus 1 minus W, which is your winning probability, which is 1 and 2. So you end up with a negative 1 minus that, so you end up with half. Your win-loss ratio, which is going to be 2. So what do we get? We get 0.5 minus 0.5 over 2. So 0.5 minus a quarter is going to be a quarter, so 25%. Did I do that wrong? Jesus. That other equation, I don't understand how that B and the P would actually work into this. I mean, they've got to be like the W would be the B, right? But it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. This equation makes sense to me. The other one doesn't. Yeah, because 1 minus a half would be a half. A half over, or 0.5 over 2 would be a quarter. And half minus a quarter is going to be a quarter. Like, anyways. So, keeping that in mind, that's where the 25% comes from. That's, I don't know. Jesus. I don't know why they aren't all. I don't know what the hell's with that other equation. That this is so straightforward, and the other one's all messed up. So, anyways, so when I see something like, I mean, obviously you're just gonna pick a thing, but the problem with going into AAL, in my opinion, is that you don't know if they're gonna get bankruptcy or if another plane's gonna crash, right? So, like, I wouldn't bet this at all. I would not play AAL. I wouldn't do it. Does it look like it's gonna go up? Yeah. Is it certain? No, no, it's not. It's not very certain. I mean, like a lot of things are uncertain, but this seems riskier than some other plays, so I would stay away from it. That's a personal opinion. The next one, let's go with this one. Oh my God, are you serious? All right. BMYY, Berish Motor. What they are translated in English as Bavarian Motor Works. This is BMW. I don't know why their thing wouldn't just be BMW, but I'm sure someone else took it a long time ago. We'll look at the 5 years. It's an automobile manufacturer. They're at 1875. Are they going to recover? Who knows? They've got unions. There's a virus out. Some people are getting buybacks, some aren't. That's not an American company. They're not going to get an American buyback. And then the auto market itself is oversaturated. Like back in my hometown, 20 there were 20,000 people. Every let's say of 20,000 people, a quarter of them went to church, so 5,000 people go to church, right? Every church in my town added 300 seats. It was dumb. Like it's never gonna. They already could do weddings there at each of these churches, and they added 300 more seats. Like everybody's just spending money, But anyways, that's a whole other story. But basically, the same thing has happened to automotives, where there are only so many seats. There's only so many people buying cars, and everybody and their brothers started making cars because there's a lot of money in it. You got Toyota. 3 companies went out of business: Pontiac, Hummer, Saturn, you got Ford, Chrysler, GM, which are kind of like, obviously mixtures, Jeep, um, you know, all these companies. You get the idea. There's just a lot of them, and then there's one that's just dwarfing everybody right now in sales, and that's Tesla. Tesla's doing electric vehicles, and they've got a big name. They've got a bold leader. Everybody talks about him every day, so it's a very big thing. And he's always saying outlandish stuff, so it just gets more attention. And I don't even know the name of any of the CEOs of any of the car manufacturers right now because I don't care about them. They're not saying anything that interests me. They're not in the news every day. Like, these are just horrible people at PR, right? Like, there's Elon Musk, master of PR, and then there's every other auto manufacturer, and there's stupid commercials. With the exception that the Transformers are a very popular movie with lots of, it's just a car commercial, right? So anyway, that's a whole side note. I wouldn't go in on this myself either. Uh, I mean, yeah, it's down to 18. But like, if you look at the 5-year average, we're gonna say it's like 28. Your return on investment's so low here. There's gonna be something else that's better. You get 100% return, great. But we were just looking at AAL with 300% possible return, so like, no, I wouldn't do that one. Boeing. Boeing is the next on the list. Let's just stick with Google because it's working. Just unlike FinViz. Boeing stock, all right. Look at the 5 years. Yeah, so I mean, it looks really attractive. You're gonna get like 100 to 100% gains possibly if it goes back up. I wouldn't do it again, just because you don't know if they're gonna get a buyout. America's done buyouts before, but now our president's Trump, and he kind of just is anti-buyout. This is a man who has milked the shit out of the bankruptcy system. He knows bankruptcy inside and out. I don't think he's going to let other people do what he's done. I think he knows how shitty it is that he was able to do that. I don't think he's going to do the buyouts. I don't think it's going to happen. It might. It might still. I mean, he's just one man, and his whole, like the whole country depends on some of this stuff, and he wants to get reelected, so they might do a buyout. I don't know. But Boeing's pretty much fucked, in my opinion. I mean, their hose. Sorry about the cuss words. But that's an opinion. I wouldn't go in on Boeing. If anything, I would short it here, just because if you look at the 1 year, sorry, let's 6 months. It looks like it's kind of average here, and I kind of expect them to just crash another two planes anytime now. I have no confidence in Boeing. And then their new CEO is like, he was working there before, and then they let go of a CEO, and then this guy came in, and the stock went up. But I kind of thought, like, what for? It's still the same issue. They're kind of still trying to push, like they learned nothing, right? They push their planes out as fast as they can. That's what their goal is. And they're never going to get around that reputation or having to do that. So I mean, I just don't expect anything to come of this other than more mistakes and more issues. And the direction they're headed toward, like, electronic pilot control, like, I mean, it just seems risky right now for them. Like, if another company were doing it and they didn't have any issues before this, I would say, yeah, keep going, whatever you're doing's working. But they haven't had the checks in place, or they've sent emails and said we don't need to check that, and then they got around it. So, like, to me, Boeing's like a big red flag, no. But everybody's got to make a judgment call themselves. Let's go to the next one. CBL. CBL Properties Real Estate Investment. It's a real estate company. Automatically, I would say yes. Automatically, I would say, well, wait a minute. This is a penny stock. 0.23. Yeah, I don't even know why someone would look at this. Revenues 768 million USD in 2019. 500 employees. Okay, this is getting really weird. What in the hell is going on? Their market cap is 45 million. Their revenues are 768 million. Something's really messed up here. Their market cap is 45 million. Their revenues are 700 and some million. Your market cap is only supposed to be 5 times, at least 5 times your revenues. If you're growing as a company, it should be 10 times. If you're shrinking as a company, 5 times. This company's messed up. Something's wrong here. Drastically wrong. While rents go unpaid, it's bad news for right Securities Exchange Commission filing a verso. Bond investors face off small debt. CBL and associate property stock target cut to $2. Let me click this link, you bastards. It won't let me click this link. It lets me click these other ones. The one I actually care about, nothing. Screw you, Tommy Kilgore. Or like maybe you're a really good guy and like whoever just wrote this line of code sucks. I don't know. I can't click your link. Downgraded. Cut. Oh. It's 2017 news. What the hell's going on? I would stay away from this just because so much like these links are all messed up and the stock's doing weird stuff. I mean, it just looks very shady. This looks very shady. CBL Properties. They're a real company, right? First quarter earnings release 15th May. Tuesday, May 26th. Okay, the earnings came out today. Today's the 26th. It must be after hours. Wow. Deteriorating operating performance, specifically negative same store NOI. I don't know what N stands for. On investment. N something on investment. I don't know. Weak liquidity position. Cash flow erosion. Fitch expects CBL's operating metrics will deteriorate further in the near term. The company's original fiscal year 20 guidance called for the same center NOI declines of roughly 10%. Struggling retailers. JCPenney's screwed. Macy's screwed. They own properties, but they actually own all the wrong properties. That's why their stock is tanking. They're making $700 million a year, and their stock is 23 cents because they basically own malls. I would stay away from this. I would stay away from this. Today it might pop up. Today they might release positive earnings. I don't know. Maybe next earnings they'll be someday sooner or later. I guess it's already happened. It's already 23 cents. I mean, I don't know how much farther down it can go. These guys are gonna do what's called a reverse. I would bet that they do a reverse split. When companies do a reverse split, their stock, like if this is 0.23, they would say like 100 of these will become worth $23 or so, $2.3 or yeah, $23. They would say like every 100 of these that you own, you'll get $23. And that's a reverse split. But stocks always tank on reverse splits. And that's what they're looking at doing. This is reverse split territory. I would run from this I would run from this. So I'm gonna have to link this to my buddy. Oh man, my one buddy Chris is gonna be upset. He's gonna be upset. I mean, I don't know if he's gotten into this, but man, I would run from this so fast. Oh man, malls are dead. They're dead. If you don't shop online in 2020, you do now. Coronavirus, baby. I read a book one time. I'm trying to think of it. It was written by Ralph Ludlum. It was called The Matrix Countdown. And it talked about the scenario where the rich would, like, you know, buy up little companies as part of larger companies until everything was owned by one, like 5 companies, right? I'm pretty sure that Wally's based on the same principle. There's actually a few movies out there, Idiocracy. This idea that the big companies will own everything and that little companies are screwed has been around a long time. I mean, Walmart was putting mom and pops out of business long ago, and then Amazon came along and was putting Walmart out of business. But I mean, we're getting off in the weeds. I think there's another stock to check out. Oh man, I would not touch any of these. Oh, so far. I mean, I could see BMW maybe. I don't know. With CBL, man, at first that looked really bad, then it looked really good, and then it looked really, really bad. Like, I mean, that was my impression. Um, Airbus is at least run by the Netherlands. The Netherlands people are known to be smart, but I've seen Netherlands companies go under. So I mean, they're not like impervious to that stuff. So, all right, what do we got? Carnival Corp. Have you ever been on a cruise? You eat. I don't know what people do on cruises. I've never been on an actual cruise. I just think that's what you do. That you eat. It's like a hotel on water. You look out the window and you eat. I don't know. That's an impression I get. But again, same scenario. They're tanked down here. They don't know if they're going to go bankrupt. They could get bought out by somebody. Buyouts are the worst thing. If a company's large enough to buy Carnival Cruise, and they just offer the right deal to the management, they can give the a bad deal to the investors. They can be like, "We'll pay your leaders, your your slave owners, or whatever it is. They're leaders. They'll just be like, we'll pay you lots of money if you just let us not have to pay your investors a lot." And then they'll be like, "Oh yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, well, how much are you gonna pay us?" "Oh yeah, millions. Yeah." And then you're gonna shortchange them. Yeah, well, they're not us. Let's vote on it. Then they'll have a big vote, and then like most of the investors won't show up. Some investors will. The ones that show up will get offered a separate deal. It's all messed up. So that they're probably getting it bought out. That's an opinion. I mean, your return on investment here is really good. You're talking about 300%. If you want to put 2% of a, I mean, I just think there's better plays. There's got to be better plays. I wouldn't do Carnival Cruise. They're I don't know. I mean, I would look at their money flow. That would be like the big factor. Like, how much cash flow do they actually have? But when a stock gets this low and there's this disproportionate change in value, I just expect them to get bought. I mean, if it weren't coronavirus, if the virus weren't an unknown factor, someone would be looking to just buy this company and flip it, right? Like, I mean, that's what they would do. But anyway, what's the next one? DRI, DRI. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm sure that there's reasons and logic to buying these, but so far, to me, I don't like them. Darden Restaurants, Eddie's, Fives, Prime Seafood, some other ones. Okay, so these aren't like McDonald's, but they're. Oh, is that Olive Garden? Olive Garden. Okay, all right. Yeah, so you can see that they're trending upward. I expect them to go down, but I mean, people are going to want to go places to eat. They're going to want to go places to eat. I think that's going to be true. I would expect them to return to like this 85 value at some point. It looks like they're pretty close to it right now. I expect this just to tank this week. So, I mean, I thought it was going to tank last week and the week before, but at some point, someone's going to be like, hey, unemployment's really high and the virus isn't gone and people are dying. Let's just get out of stocks for now. you know, That's just gonna happen. Uh, so I mean, yeah, if this is the best one so far. Darden restaurants, the best one I've looked at so far. This next one has a D and an I, so I'm gonna guess that it's also some kind of restaurant. Dine Brands, IHOP. It's probably the same story. I like it. I like this. I like this setup. It looks like they're not doing the greatest though. I think I saw an Applebee's out of business where I'm at. I would still go with the other one, DRI. I personally haven't seen an Olive Garden go out of business. I've never had a problem with Applebee's. I know what I want to order at Applebee's. I know what I want to order at IHOP. I know what I want to order at Olive Garden, and I've never had a problem at either any of these places. But because the local Applebee's to me is out of business, and I don't know why, and I think that they should have stayed in business. Like, I mean, to me, it seems like that. Then I think that I would just go with the other one. It's an opinion just based solely on my location, though. Talking 47 here. What's the market cap? 771 million, 900 million. Look at this. I mean, it's definitely in the buy range. This is bad though. Whenever your revenue, man, if your market cap is less than 5 times your revenue, that company is in territory for a buyout. It is worth buying the whole company at that price. And that means that it's not the best investment. I got to go back to that other one and look at it. Darden, 10 billion? Wow. I don't see their revenue. Revenue. Sales revenue. Okay, so they're in a better position. Well, that's 2017. I don't. They're still in dangerous territory though. It's not 5 times more. It's not 5 times more. These guys can still be bought out. It's still the best one so far though. I like I like DRI. I wouldn't. It wouldn't be a trade I would make. I would probably short them right now. I would go short term short. Uh, Out 3 months, 4 months. Just expecting the virus to return, and with maybe 2, 3, 4% of my total, or 20% of my total. But I probably would just I like McDonald's for short myself. I think McDonald's is the short. Let's see. Onward. Dow is on this list. Okay, it's interesting. Oop. Dow. I mean, this is the index. It's gonna go up. They will literally delist things losing value in this index and put in things that are going up to make this index go up. That's how the indexes work. It's gonna go up eventually. This is the safest thing on the list, probably. I haven't looked at the whole list. Without even looking at the whole list, this is an index. Unless another one is, I don't think there's. I mean, is Spy on that list? I don't see Spy. This is going to be the one that's definitely going to go up. What's your return going to be? You're at 25,000. This is at 28. You're probably going to get 100% return in the length of from here to like there. So like, what is that? December to September, probably. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like to me within 9 months, 12 months, probably 100% return on the Dow. Well, probably not. I mean, that's the way it looks, but probably going to spike even lower than this. Like, this is what I think we're in. I think this drop here. Where's 2008? Yeah, here we go. So this drop here is, I think, what we've seen, and I think we're up on this peak right here right now. Because I think this thing's just gonna. I mean, I think we're gonna get down to this value here in 2016 or possibly one of these values in here. Because I really think there are 350 million people ish in the US. The virus enters the United States. These are numbers that are publicly posted. I don't know if they're right. Obviously, some people are arguing like it's hyped up, it's fake, it's not this, it's whatever. I don't care. I can only use numbers I know or numbers that I'm given. The numbers I'm given, they say we had like 4 people get here and they were sick, and 2 months later, 1 million people were infected, and we shut everything down. And now they're opening everything up, and there are 1 million people sick right now. 1.5 million people sick right now in the U.S. So, and that's not recovered. That's actually sick right now, not recovered. So to me, that means in 2 months, 100 million people. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's a number so scary and silly that to say it just freaks you out. You know what I mean? Because you're talking 2 months from 4 to 1 million, and another 2 months are coming, and you're starting at 1 million. It's just mind-bogglingly scary, right? And that's if the numbers are right. Obviously, some people say it's all hyped. Personally, I don't. I mean, one day Cuomo's on the YouTube. One day he was on there for like months, just saying ventilators. He was the ventilator master, right? Master of ventilators. Ventilators this, ventilators that, and and now he's like, oh, let's open everything up. It's fine. No, no, no. It's stuff screwed. All right, onward. The Dow obviously good, but probably not for another year or two. Oh, LK, I know this stock. This is the Chinese version. Well, I'm gonna say something, but it's not really accurate. I'm gonna say it's the Chinese version of Starbucks, but I mean that's what it's characterized as. But anyways, exceeded numbers of Starbucks stores in China. It's really popular. It's a coffee house, and it's in China. On our market, it's 2.28. This was trading at $30 last year, right? Like, so if we look at a 5 year, I mean, right here is $50. And I mean, the maximum on this is literally like it just came out in 2019 was the IPO in the U.S. So I mean, it's a Chinese stock. It's very risky. It's super risky. I think it's Chinese stocks are a little bit unique. You don't see a lot of buyouts. Chinese companies can't actually sell all the way to a U.S. company if they're Chinese based. It's like a rule, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken, but to me, man, if I had 100% of my portfolio, I'm gonna trade with 25% of it. I'm gonna trade with 20%. There's a lot of risk in the market. 20%. I trade with 20% of my portfolio. 75% of that probably in the Dow right now. If I was only gonna trade these, I didn't look at anything else. 75% Dow, 25% this company. So 25% of 25%, they're 20%, so 5%, maybe 5% or less. Luckin Coffee, I don't know. But man, that's just because this return is huge. Look at this. I mean, that's just gigantic. And it's not like that real estate company that's getting a bought out, reverse split. This might get reverse split, but it's a Chinese company. It's gonna come back. And by the way, in China, a lot of people walk around. They just walking everywhere, right? And I'm talking a lot of people. I'm talking I've been to Chongqing, 26 million people. A lot of people walking around. This coffee store is going to make a lot of money. The stores are not going malls are going to be around in China for a long time. A long, long time. Their subway infrastructure is built right into them having malls. Their highways are scary. They had a 50-lane highway. I think it was China. you'd have to Google this to make sure. I think China had a 50-lane highway that was closed for 3 days. People were getting robbed. They couldn't move. They were in their car, a car next to them, cars in front of them, cars behind them, cars 50 lanes wide. I mean, yeah. So I mean, but when you're over there, like when I was in Chongqing, I didn't see any abnormal highways, and there were a lot of cars, but there were even more people walking. There's just so many people walking around, and the malls were packed, just packed. And I think that most of their large cities are like that. And you're talking about millions and millions of people. China's got so many people, and so many of them are walking around. I can't imagine that that doesn't do really well. Whereas here in the States, like, I don't know what's going on, but it seems like I feel like I'm a typical average guy. And I'm just like, I don't want to go shopping. If I can order something online, I'm going to do that. My neighbors, I don't really know them, but I watch. I'm like, one of my neighbors had like a whole stack of food that they bought from Peapod, so they didn't have to go and get groceries. And the only reason I know that is because they had some kind of dispute, so the food just set out in the parking lot. I mean, they don't live here anymore, but uh, when they did live here, I remember that particular event happening because their food, just a stack of it, just sat there out in the parking lot. I mean, I don't know, it was weird. But if they're doing that and I'm ordering stuff, like, I can only imagine that the American way is to like order stuff online, and the Chinese, if they're walking around going places, and what I know about them and their culture, it seems like they're going to keep doing that. I think we're just different civilizations. It's really safe in China, you know. In the U.S., there's like a lot of schools are being shot up, you know. In China, I think there was one school knifing. I think like 30 people got stabbed or something, and it was like one of them. It's just a different culture, totally different culture. And so I kind of think that Luckin Coffee, if this is actually an investment into that company and their ability to sell stuff in China, then I think this is probably a better one. So I think 5% here, 15% in the Dow. All right, let's go to the next one. LTRX copy. That's an opinion. It's just an opinion, but I mean, I think that's a good one. All right, so Lantronix. Already, I'm thinking tech company. Pronet, GMB. Is this a 5G company? What is this? 3.59. I don't know. I'd have to research this one for a while. Their market cap's 100 million. I don't see a revenue posted here. We'll go with revenue. Nope, Yahoo Finance. Here we go. These guys are pretty good. I don't see revenue. Sorry about burping. I think I spelled it wrong. Third quarter net revenue was 16 million. Market cap 100 million. Yeah, so they've got sky high PE right now. I think there's better companies. I'd rather invest in KTOS. Personal opinion. Because they do military contracts. Unless Electronics is trying to land military contracts. I don't know a lot about them. I don't know. This is a big I don't know. I'm going to just copy this. Where's my text file? Let's just get rid of all this shit. Delete. 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 Just get rid of all this. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. That one's the big one. Yeah, that's a smart play. Way to go, Chris. Oh, delete. Did I mess that up? I gotta check. Okay, yeah. So, delete. Oh, I've got to watch out for PK. All right, so I want to pay attention to. I want to leave the PK value there. I want to know that the PK value is a big hit. Let's just say, no, we're gonna go FT for nope 0, 0, 0, 0, CBL, 0. CLL 0 will go 2%. Dow. Whoops. 13%. 5%. 0. All right. Next on the list. Boa Group Holdings. Okay. This is alarming. It doesn't say what they do. Big old red flag. Machine learning, natural language processing. It's a tech company using buzzwords. Tech company I'm not familiar with. Splunk stock, 80 million market cap. Yahoo. Revenue. 25 million, 80 million market cap. I would stay away from it. I'd stay away from it. It's not for me. It might be a fair one. I don't know. I'm actually put like question mark here. Go 0 question mark. I don't know enough about them, and I want to give them a note that, hey, there might be something more to this that I don't know. There might be some reason to go with them. I don't know. This is the next one. Try to speed these up so I can play a video game. Actually, I want to check my personal investment real quick. I'm up 66% today. It's freaking phenomenal. Yep. My McDonald's is up. My puts at McDonald's are worth 0. That's why I say that I'm up and my calls are up, but I'm actually holding puts. My puts are all in 0. So when they start to take off, they'll be worth a lot, I would imagine, if they take off. I expect a crash this week, so I've invested a very small amount now in the McDonald's put. So, although I did initially invest a large amount that then declined. So let's hopefully the small amount matches the old amount, and it'll just work out great for me. But right now I'm pretty much screwed. But let's see. NCLH 15.6 5 years. Another situation I don't like. It's a cruise line. I would apply the same rules as the other one. I would just say no for me. It's a cruise line. I don't even like them. PK. I've heard of PK. I have friends that talk about PK. Parks, Hotels, Resorts. Virginia headquarters. Hilton Orlando. Yeah. Market cap 2 billion. Revenue 600 million. That's 4 times. This one's probably a good one. Yep. All right, so let's look at what our return is on this. Oh, that's pretty good. Let's go adjust our sheet. Probably go like this. All right, P10. Rental equipment and drilling. No. Hard no. I don't even want to look at their revenues. Probably are really high. Revenue 2 billion. Market cap 700 million. Yeah, no. Houston Tech. No. Big O, no. Big zero. Oil screwed. I don't know if anyone's catching the news on that, but oil screwed. I don't know about that company myself, but I mean, just looking at them, I'm like, no, nope, no. Vrex stock. All right, this sounds interesting. Salt Lake City, Imaging Deutschland AG, tech company probably. 700 million market cap. Baby's texting me. I gotta see what she says. She's sending me a video of Chongqing. Chongqing is returning to business like business as normal. She's recording from in the middle of the street, or someone is. Oh, Chongqing returns to normal. Chongqing is about 150 miles, 200 miles, or something like that from Wuhan. 27 million people. But China's newest outbreak, I believe, is on their northern border. Wuhan's kind of like cured, if you will, but their northern border is kind of screwed, as far as I know. Varex Imaging Company, 700 million market cap. What was their revenue? 600 million. That's 2016. Revenue 2019. 781. Well, that seems good. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. What the hell? 1%. I don't really know much about them. I mean, I don't know. I still would probably go zero. I think it's still a zero for me. Zero, but they look good. What am I gonna put here? I'm gonna put money in PK. Parks. Our best return is on LK. Our most certain return is on Dow. PK is gonna have a good return. This is still a zero. Yeah, it's zero, but they look good. They're not as good as PK. The return on PK is going to be higher. The return on Dow is going to be more consistent. The return on LK is going to be higher. Vrex is, yeah, they're good company, but like, okay, so what? So what? WiseKey International Holdings AG. What are the? Well, let's see. Insights Technology Company International Holdings launches share buyback program. Oh, that was last year though. Share buyback. Share buybacks are a good thing. Revenues 53 mil. Market cap not certain. What? How's that blank? Market cap 30 million. Revenues 53 million. They're at buyout territory. That's a big zero. These guys are priced to perfection. They're the average. I mean, any money I was going to put in this would be in PK. I'm not going to make big notes. Well, I will. I don't care. Most reliable. Most reliable. Index with mechanisms keep going up. Yeah. So, I mean, that's an opinion. I mean, I'm sure there's different ways to word that. PK is better. We're at the end of this list. We're at the end of this list, Chris. Bear with me. XPO Logistics. Supply chains, 50,000 customers. 69 of the Fortune 100. Oh. 16 billion. Yeah, it's up there. It's already up there. It's already 16 billion. If it's 20 billion, 100 billion, 100 billion, or I'm sorry. Yeah. 100 billion would be appropriate. Market cap 7 billion versus 16 billion. What the hell? I must have read something wrong here. I think I read something wrong. I was reading the stock price as the market cap. It's not. The market cap is 7. This is ridiculous. It's buyout territory. It's buyout territory. That's a 0. All right. in my opinion. IMO, in my opinion. Uh, PK. Yeah, so that's my opinion. Everything else is trash. I like to think of the world very asymptotically. You take like a line, you put all your things on a map and you take a line, you just, once you've mapped them in your X and Y coordinate, like reliability and return, and you just put them out there and you draw a line. You're like, if it's over this, it's good. If it's under that, it's trash. I've drawn my line and it's like, this other stuff's trash. So it's an opinion. I'm sure that these companies have good people in them. I'm sure that everybody's doing their best. But you only have so much money and you're only going to invest so much. I just want to check and make sure that my numbers make sense here. We got 2 and 2 is 4, 4 and 5 is 9, 9 and 11. We're talking about 20%. So there we have it. This is my opinion. Save. That's it. That's going to conclude this video. I hope that my buddy likes this. I'm going to upload it to YouTube. I don't know what I'm going to put it as. I'm going to have to make I'm going to make a stock video, stock review. And the time frames on these, time frame, like time to ROI. Two to 3 years. I don't know how bad this is going to be. The coronavirus is a big unknown. But if you do lose 20% of your portfolio, according to the Kelly criterion, the next time that you bet your 20%, probably make it back. So, but all of those things depend on like the patience. The patience to let your portfolio go to that end. But whatever your time frame is. All right, that's it. That's it. I think that's it. Thank you, one viewer, probably Grohl, who watched this, or possibly Knives. Uh, that's just my opinion. So Taryn, I hope you liked the video. Chris, I hope you liked the video. Thanks, guys.